Nathan Baird from the Indianapolis Star. Um, you obviously come from a program most recently where with everything Lincoln Riley's done and the reputation he has with quarterbacks and getting to work with Caleb Williams there for a few years. Just curious what you take from that experience that you think can translate to what you're trying to start here.
Well, the biggest thing I took from Coach Riley was his ability to. I thought the thing he did the very best that I'd been around was make decisions early in the week about what schemes, um, what concepts that we were going to run that week, and then because we made that decision so early and got it into the game plan so early, we had a chance to rep it more than anywhere else I've ever been throughout the week. And so from that standpoint, there's a lot of volume to what he does, but in any given week there's simplicity. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to make sure that we are multiple enough as a as an offense that we keep people off balance, but we're simple enough so that we can go out and execute on Saturdays.
Go to Tom.
Yeah, Coach, kind of just describe for us what we can expect from your offense schematically and just on Saturday and game days, what your philosophy is and how you like to go about doing your job.
Yeah, you bet. The number one thing on offense is, in my opinion, is score points and obviously try to eliminate turnovers. I mean, that's the biggest two things that we've got to be able to do. So we've got to be disciplined in protecting the football. And I know that sounds cliche. Everyone says that, but it's the truth. But we've also got to be aggressive in creating opportunities for us to have game-breaking plays down the field and score points. Um, so in that, and in that same vein, the flip side of that is you have to be methodical at times running the football. If you look at the stats in this league about running the football over a certain amount of yards and winning, they're pretty eye-opening. And so that is in a nutshell what we're going to do. If you kind of look at us the last few years, I know that Caleb Williams and the Heisman Trophy winners and all those things, but that was also the first place I'd been at where I had a tailback average over 7 yards a carry. So we're going to be very effective doing both. And at the end of the day, our number one job is to score points and limit turnovers.
Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, Josh, I just kind of wondered. I know you have a history with Barry. What was the draw to Purdue? What did you like about this challenge of coming here, where the program has the last couple of years struggled, especially offensively at times?
Well, I think number one, it's Coach Odom and who he is as a person, and knowing the program that he's going to bring to Purdue, and that program has so much more to do than just offense. It's about becoming a better person. It's about the way Coach Odom says it, smart, hard, tough, and it's about being disciplined and doing things right on a daily basis. And that really attracted me to Coach Odom, knowing who he is and how he's going to run this program on a daily basis. Because in my mind, what that does is that empowers your really good players and really good kids to lead the team and to buy into it and to be a part of something that they're going to look back on for the rest of their lives and be proud that they were part of it. Number two, I would tell you some of being attracted to Purdue is history. And the last game that I played in as a collegiate player, I was beat by Purdue in the Alamo Bowl in 1997. They were really good. They were strong. They were physical. They were tough. And they played a very technique sound brand of football. And when I think about Purdue football, that's what I've always thought about in my mind. And so the goal is to bring that back to West Lafayette and win games. And that's the bottom line. And so that's what I was attracted to it. I will tell you, after being here, I did not know that Purdue football from a facility standpoint is as good a place as it is. That has actually been a very pleasant surprise. And so I'm very excited about our future, very excited about what we can do. And, in a nutshell, that's what attracted me to come here.
Back to Nathan.
obviously you guys are bringing in three new quarterbacks, four new quarterbacks, I guess, if you can include Garrett. You've got Bennett Meredith still here. I'm just curious, this process that's going to play out this spring, and then I assume potentially into the preseason as far as selecting a quarterback. How does that make it more difficult to start planning for what kind of offense you want to have, what you're going to be offensively, or is there enough, like, I guess, common ground with these guys that you can, in that same process, sort of establish what you want to as far as the scheme?
Yeah, I think you're touching on something, Nathan. It's you could say it all across the offense, not just at quarterback, but every position I'm not familiar with, we're not familiar with as a staff, maybe other than Coach Conard, obviously having coached the running backs here last year, of what our team is capable of. Obviously, there's a lot of new players on our roster that I've never seen, that some of the other guys have never seen. So I think in every position, not just the quarterback position, but every position along our offense, that's going to be part of what we do this spring. It's a discovery process, right? It's like who are the good players? How do we put them in position to win? And who can we take and help them get better for the fall? And so I think some of that is obviously still a work in progress. I have a vision in my mind of what I want this offense to become, but that vision has to be adjusted based on what our players are good at.
Back to Tom.
Yeah, Coach. Why is Barry Odom the right man for this job?
Well, I think that just I think that's from basically proof in what he's done at UNLV, proof in what he's done throughout his career. He took a program in a very similar situation, obviously a different league. This is a tough league, and we know that. But I would tell you over time, having been with Coach Odom, and where Coach Odom and I both draw our roots from is from Gary Pinkel at Missouri. And if you look at Missouri, kind of when Coach Pinkel got there, and where Purdue's at this point when Coach Odom's arriving, similar situations, had some success, had some ups, had some downs, but was able over the long term to sustain a very long period of success. Maybe at a place that you would say in a conference that there's a lot of other places that maybe would have better chances to sustain success on the outside looking in. But it's not about what everyone else outside this building believes. It's about what we believe in this building. And our beliefs, we're going to make them come true. And I think more than anything, that's what Coach Odom has inside him. He has a burning desire and a burning fire to go out every single day and put the very best product that he can on the field. And he is a very driven person to do that. And he's going to do it in a way that's sustainable, that's long-term. And I've already been super excited watching him because it's a lot like watching Coach Pinkel when I was at Missouri. And so, if I was to draw comparisons, that's what it would be. And that's the way we're going to build this thing. And that's why I think it makes him the right man for this job.
Back to Nathan.
You have an offensive line background. You're talking about the running game. You've worked with Vance now. I guess just the continuity that you guys are bringing to this as you're reestablishing a run game here, and how that helps either just from a terminology standpoint, expectation standpoint between an offensive coordinator and an offensive line coach.
Yeah, for sure. Just like with the players, a ton of what we're doing right now as a staff is getting on the same page, right? Like, how do you adjust to this? How do you adjust to that? What is the answer when the defense is stopping? Because the defense always has answers, right? Just like the offense always has answers. And the magic in this thing is getting to your answer, your adjustment faster than they do, being one step ahead. But that's what we're doing right now as an offensive staff. We're setting in, we're going through detailing schemes, detailing plays, breaking down all the little things that can happen, and making sure that we're going to be on the same page as we go and apply that teaching to our players so that they can go execute on game day.
Back to Sam.
Kind of along those lines, I was going to ask about specifically Giordano Vaccaro, clearly dominated in Canada. How does that translate? I mean, is ball just everywhere and it should be seamless? What did you like about that? And maybe this is a question better for Vance, but can you kind of speak on what he brings?
Well, Gio he obviously brings a very physical nature to the game, and the way he plays, and brings a style of play that he plays with he's a very high effort player from his film and time in Canada. So that's the biggest thing to me is Gio's going to bring a physical nature, a presence about him, about how he does things. Now, the competition he was playing against in Canada versus United States in the Big Ten I would guess, is going to be a level up. So he's going to have to learn to be even more technically consistent and sound than he was in that league to have the same success. But overall, I mean, a guy that weighs 310 pounds and moves the way he does and plays as hard as he does, I don't think that's going to be any different for a 6'3", 310 pounder in Canada than it was in America.
Back to Tom.
Josh, when do you think the quarterback derby will be decided and you'll know who the starter is going to be?
Oh, I don't have any timelines on that whatsoever. That's something we'll decide as a staff. I mean, that'll be an ongoing process, and I have no timelines on that.
Anything else for Coach Henson?
Can I throw in one more?
Yep. Go ahead.
Coach Odom had told us that you were familiar with Colson, or the guy from not Colson, but Washington State. His name just escaped me right now. Chuba. You were familiar with him from a recruiting trail. Just what did you remember about him from seeing him as a prospect, and how you think he can fit in here?
Well, Evans has in my opinion, he's a very talented individual. He's got a very live arm. He can change arm angles. His arm is strong. He can not use his lower body and just kind of flick the ball and sit at 40 yards, on a very direct trajectory. And so he's got a ton of talent. I think Evans, his biggest thing is just becoming a football player now. So it's all the little things like, how are my feet? Are they loaded when I need to get the ball thrown? My reads, and all the little technical details that go into playing the position. But I think from a talent standpoint, he has a lot of upside.